Hello, friends. I hope you're so well wherever you are in this right now moment. I am Jane, and I am here to share some quantum spirituality with you all. So I hope that this lands with some excitement, ease, and joy. Okay. So we are in the full moon right now. And in tropical astrology, they say that it's in Leo, and in sidereal and astronomical astrology, which is when you use your eyeballs and you look to see where the placements are, like where the moon is, it's in Cancer. So these are two totally different realities of beliefs that are currently being experienced right now because, Leo is one way of being and Cancer is a whole other way of being. Like we got fire and we got water, okay? And what I'm noticing is that as more people become aware of the differences between, say, tropical astrology and the math equations or history that we have been told that that comes from, and the belief around, like, well, if I look and see this is the constellation and I see the moon there, the sun there, whatever planet you're looking at or whatever, like that, the more people are becoming aware that that's a whole other different thing, which is very similar to Vedic astrology in many ways. So in this now we've got fire and water. Okay. I am seeing this really interesting in the elemental world and how this is affecting us and the gifts of it. So, first of all, I am so grateful right now that it's a cloudy day. Like, y'all, it's been sunny. It's been straight up sunshine. We've not had rain here in Costa Rica, and I love the sunshine. I've also been like under the weather with a migraine for 4 days, a lot of light codes, a lot of shifts. Yo. And so the clouds are here and like I'm so excited and I'm so grateful for it. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is the delight of fire and water, right? The water being the clouds. And hopefully it'll turn into raindrops because we could use some rain. Been doing a little rain dance, rain prayer. Point though. That was not that. My point though is I'm making my way to it. Thank you for listening. So we have these two perspectives around fire and water. So a lot of people are using this moon medicine, these moon messages, this energy from the moon that they're focusing on and calling forth. So that's the medicine that they're going to receive. If you have the belief in tropical astrology that the moon is in Leo, then you will get the medicine of what a moon in the Leo constellation, zodiac, whatever will give you. Hell yeah, that's dope. Because we've got the lion, we've got this fire, we've got this heart, the emotionals of just like, I'm gonna roar and I'm gonna rip through any muck in your field that has prevented your heart from being like, yeah, this is me in my heart. Okay? And that's the heart we need, y'all. We need the courageous heart that's like, yeah, I love you so much and I'm so mad. I love you so much that this is the grief that I feel. Or whatever, like to be able to feel the emotions of this human that we are. God, with all of the love, all of the love. It's just like, it's so exciting. So to me, that's like this Leo moon medicine. And then we have the Cancer moon, which is where it is. So a lot of people are focusing and calling in the energy of a moon in Cancer, watery. I don't know a lot about Cancer stuff, just saying. So again, I'm not an astrologer, so don't look at me for this stuff. Look at your people for these different more depths, okay? But, when I think about Cancer, it's watery, it's clearing. It's also, I think about the crab. And and so the symbolism, like the spiritual medicine of crabs is around like fertility, ocean medicine, like obvious. And so to me that's like, what is being fertilized in our heart? What are we what is it that our heart truly really desires right now, y'all? Like, what does your heart, like, what is it like? you know I want this. You know what? You know I want to drive a Lexus and a Tesla. And you know I really want to have a 25,000 square foot house. And you know I want to live a life of luxury. Or maybe your heart's like, I really want to live off grid and be in a community and just have like all these dogs and horses and cows. Like your heart knows and it has this deep-seated desire of what it wants to birth forth, and not just birth forth in your creation, but in your life. Like, what do you want to live? And there's going to be a lot of emotions that come with that when we really sit with our desires, because more often than not, most humans are not living fully the life that they desire. A lot of humans are doing the best they can. A lot of humans are making peace with lying to themselves about the desires that they have, telling themselves that this is what they want, that what, I do want this, that, and the other. I want the American dream and the white picket fence, and I have all of the things to show for my joy, and I'm really deeply miserable inside, so I'm just going to be addicted to a lot of things that cause distractions in my life. So the true heart's desires have been so convoluted with the program of the Matrix, with what we've been taught and told we should want, and the life that we should be living. So when we start to really go into that, we see this like little kid version of ourselves that's like, I just really want to play today and have horses and donkeys and chickens, or I really want to live in a really tall apartment building in a city and just walk around and shop all day. Like, whatever. Total examples. But my point, there's this little kid in us that has these desires that have been with us since we came into form. These desires are our dharma, it's our purpose, it's our reason for being incarnated here on earth. It's different for everyone, and your dharma, your purpose, is totally unique to you as mine is to me. And for me to really get to those deep desires, and then to take so imagine this. We're going to use this like Cancer moon, Leo moon. For me to get to that like deep desire of what I want to birth, and like literally through the birth waters in my life, as my life, for my life, I got to be courageous, yo. And I got to burn through some stuff. I got to be willing to rip through the layers of the versions of me that were not in alignment with these dreams. As I continue to burn away at the muck of my program, my traumas, my dramas, and my life, that then starts to show what it is I'm here to do. And then I start to do it. I start to think along those lines, which means I got to be courageous and fluid, and not be stuck in a mental box of I must think this way because this is the way I was taught. I got to speak differently, because whatever it is that I'm here to create, whatever it is you're here to create, the sounds that are going to come out of your face when you talk about it, when you literally, when you sing about it, it's going to be the vibration of your soul essence coming out, making your life manifest. Nobody got anything on that. Like, that's all you, yo. And your behaviors, your actions are going to be totally different, because you're not going to be moving around in a way that is reflected of or still holding the frequency of fear and of lack and of like, oh God, but what if they judge me? Right? So I say this because right now, so many beings in the collective are like, go team Leo, and so many are like, go team Cancer, for where the moon is right now. Both can be true because it's all belief and it's all consciousness. So imagine we have like two teams, and instead of them being like, I'm right, it's in Leo because of blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but I'm right because it's in Cancer because blah, blah, blah. What if both just recognize that they're both pulling down extremely potent data sets of consciousness, and when those synchronize, That's when we start to rise to another level and way of being. It's amazing. I am excited. And that's what I see really happening is we're starting to sync up in really big ways. Um, the syncing of beliefs, and not that the beliefs have to be the same, it's that we can just sync up with an understanding and acceptance that we have different beliefs, and the acceptance and understanding is the unifying force. If I accept that you believe X and I believe Z, and you understand the same and accept it, then we can get along. We can coexist with ease. We can begin to co create. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to start seeing things that are going to be like in service for you. I'm going to be like, did you know that if you call this person, they said that they wanted to buy this thing that you sell? And then same thing, vice versa. They're going to, you would be like, yo, I met this person. They were talking about that they really wanted a quantum shaman in their life to reprogram all their shit. And I thought about you, Jane. Right. But if we stay too separate, right, with like, well, they believe this, so I don't want to support that. Not necessarily support, but if it's like, I don't accept that, if I don't accept it, then we can't sync up. And we're here to start syncing up because this year, this 2024 calendar year is proving itself to be a doozy. And we've only just begun. We haven't even hit the cosmic and spiritual and natural new year. We're still in last year in many beliefs and traditions. So that would look like then that this year is ending with a bang, and it's setting us up to sync up, to stand up for the world that we want, the world that we're here to create, the world that we deserve to live in. We're done waiting on us, y'all. We're so done waiting on us to show up and create a majestic life for all. It's time now. Like, so we're really starting to come online and start to sync up. So allow your waters to get a little heated. Allow the steam and vapors to move up. Let what needs to wash out and down and through move out and down and through. And notice with that movement of what I just said, going into like our quantum field of energy, we have a toroidal field of energy that our atomic and energetic structure vibrates and moves at. We have multiple shapes of the way our energy moves around us, one being the toroidal field. So in that, the energy is going to go up, out and around, down, and then back up. And it's going to go down, out, around, up. And so we have both directions of this energy moving in this toroidal field of energy. So that means some things got to go up, up, up and connect and like so it can come back down and anchor in and pick up this beautiful data and codes from the earth and integrate it into our body, and vice versa. That we're, well, I guess it all, wait, shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? We've got energy coming in, down, and like anchoring into the earth and like clearing and kind of, what's the word when, what's the, oh, total brain fart. What is it when the precipitation where it like goes through the cycle, the water cycle? I guess it's the water cycle. Geology me is failing right now. The Water, it's water. It evaporates, makes a cloud, gets heavy, condenses, rains, repeat. That. That's us. So I say that to use the medicines of the elements, of the cosmos, of the placement of the moon, the placement of the sun, all this stuff, and see where we can unite it together in a way that isn't just one dimensional or three dimensional. We're moving into a fifth dimensional reality. Um, but I want to share this because I find it very interesting. Um, and it has to do with the the poles flipping. I could probably do a whole other video on this. Eh, maybe I'll give a snippet. So the poles are flipping on the earth. Okay? That means, the micro and the macro, the poles within us are flipping. So in when we look at a lot of Eastern culture, they are predominantly connected up into the higher chakras. They have a lot of spiritual practices. Like they're gonna be at the altar, they're gonna be chanting, they're like connected to Great Spirit and whatever those words are for them. They are like, I'm at like think like yogis, right? And like the Buddhists, the monks, like we're up here, we're so connected to God, whatever that word is, the wordless wonder. And and oftentimes there's a disconnect in the way that is humanized. Oftentimes it's, if you go to certain parts of the world and it's like, everybody drops and prays at this time, whatever, but you still notice that there are people starving all over the place. There's litter everywhere. There's not a clean water. There's, it's like this, like where's the reverence for the earth, and like the beings on the earth, the children or the animals or the women. um Amazing. And so it's like there's this disconnect, there's all this reverence for Great Spirit, but there's like lack of reverence for the earthly realm, the matter realm. And the inverse of that is predominantly true when we look at Western cultures. It's more of like the earthly realm is what matters most. How much money do you have? What kind of car do you drive? What do you have to show for you? And then that whatever you have to show is going to be reflective or mirror what your worth is, blah blah blah. And these two things, and we see that because not as many people are connected to, say, the wordless wonder, love, Great Spirit, because they're so like focused here in this more egoic structure. So we're here as humans, so we're going to be living with our ego. Like we're not here to kill it or annihilate it. We got to find a way to live with it as it and the divine. It's that combination of the physical and spiritual where they meet. They meet in the heart. So it's taking both of these energy centers from our upper chakras and our lower chakras. Like how do I use my connection to source and live and create a life that's in reverence and stewardship to life itself, the physical manifestation of life in all forms, men, women, children, earth, animals, all those things. And how can I have so much reverence for life in all forms that everything that I do, my businesses, my relationships become my prayer? So it's taking this energy from below and lifting it up, and it's taking this energy from above and anchoring it down. And that, in my opinion, is the the crux of what we as humanity are going to need to start um, focusing on, um, diving into, and just being like completely unabashedly vulnerable and raw in the process because we haven't done it as a collective ever. So every one of you that does that makes your life the prayer, that your life, you live Like your life is ceremonial, your home is your altar, your body is your temple. These things that have been in my own practice, and even me, like I still find myself like balancing how am I going to you know, create an abundant flow of money and energy and prosperity and just like abundance, and live in complete stewardship and reverence to life and love. That's my work. How do I get that balance? Because I know that we can have it all. So it also means that we will be communicating differently in that vulnerability. Like we'll be maybe saying things and then looking back and being like, well, maybe I didn't really want to say that like that. Or noticing that maybe what you said or did was like what you have always done, but it just doesn't feel good anymore. Um, and then not having to go back and clean it up, but just learning from it and doing differently the next time, or saying differently or thinking differently the next time. Um, we're bringing all of the elements together as the poles shift. As these poles shift, everything shifts. Like, really, y'all. Um, it's like if you've been predominantly in your masculine energy and then you got to switch all of a sudden into your feminine energy. That's a big shift. It's a really big shift. If you've been in the feminine and you move over to the masculine quickly, it's a lot. It's a lot. If you've lived in, you know, Greenland your whole life and then you go to, Guatemala, you're gonna be like, yo, oh God, it's hot. Ooh, it's hot here, and vice versa. There's a lot that we learn in these quick flips and switches. And everything is going to change around us. Like it will feel like the the baseline elements of our life are completely being altered. The water, the air, the land. I mean, like literally the elemental natures, but also the element of your own life, the elemental aspect of you, the basic way that you've shown up and the way others have shown up. It's going to be reflective in the earth. It's going to be reflective in communities. It's going to be reflected everywhere. And it will be definitely reflected internally. So you may be feeling this physically, emotionally, mentally, all that stuff. Um, but my to conclude, to conclude, um, my invitation is to recognize that people will have different perspectives and they will be able to prove their perspective as being right. Whether it's back to the moon example, whether it's look with your eyes, moon is in Cancer. You see the symbol of the stars in the sky that looks like Cancer. That's because that's Cancer and the moon is there. And then you're going to have others that are going to say, but tropical astrology that says it's in Leo has been around. It's one of the more ancient sciences, and people have been using it for years. And so and so and so and so and so and so, all these brilliant people and astronomers and astrologers have used it over and over again over the years. Both can prove their rightness. Both can prove their belief. Can we recognize that those beliefs both can be true from the eye of the beholder? Now, can you then see through the all seeing eye as the sacred witness to say that it all can be true? From that perspective, from that all seeing eye space, that's when we start to synchronize. And those in which you synchronize with will be of that frequency, of that telepathic, intuitive, higher self, a higher mind, upper level consciousness, different frequencies, a different harmonic resonance will be connecting, communicating, and living together. And if you're not there, and if you're like, but I'm right, that's fine. I will say that that is a more narrow-sighted, close-minded perspective that may not work that well when we look into a higher dimensional frequency consciousness. Even when we look at dimensions, we look at like three-dimensional shapes and fourth dimensional shapes and fifth dimensional shapes, they look different. Well, if we're here to live in a fifth dimensional consciousness, but someone is stuck in a third dimensional consciousness, they literally won't see the same things. They will not experience the same reality. The fifth dimensional consciousness is the new earth, it's heaven on earth. It's a more dope ass place to live. It's a different way of being, it's a different life. So, my invitation is to understand that everyone's beliefs are a reality. And taking a grain of salt with each of them and seeing how they can work together as opposed to why they need to be separated and fight. That's where we create world peace. So, and that's what I want to do. I want to create a life in love where we're aware, where we're conscious that the physical and spiritual are meeting together. And that's, to me, quantum spirituality. So these are my teachings via me. So I'm sending you all a lot of love. I have a feeling that these um, transmissions are going to be coming through more frequently for me to share. Um, so I'm excited about that. We'll see how that goes. Um, but I'm sending you so much love and happy full moon in Leo, or happy full moon in Cancer, or happy full moon in the word in Vedic astrology that I don't remember. Because I don't. Again, I'm not the astrologer, y'all. I'm really not. But I do know that there are different beliefs. It's like fucking religion, yo. You look at different religions and they all have their own nuances of, well, but my God says this and my God says that, but we all read the Bible, or we don't read the Bible. And it's like, can we just see the similarities, like, so that we can get on the same playing like level, and then we can start to like look at the differences. It's like, okay, well, is your God loving? Yeah, my God's loving. Okay, let's hang out just with the God is love. Look at that. So when your God is love and someone does something bad, what does your God do? And you listen and you're like, wow, that's interesting. Maybe my God does do that, or maybe mine doesn't. But without having the judgment part, I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference. So I am going to continue holding the vision that we can watch the different elements get reconfigured, the elements of life itself. Um, I'm holding the vision that Grace continues to hold us in her beautiful presence as we go through the biggest shift in consciousness. I hold the vision that harmony, a new harmonic resonance, floods the earth with a sound of the heavens that integrates into our souls, and that is the only way then we know how to be. That is the vision I hold. So until next time, y'all, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember how loved you are. So, if you would like any support on reprogramming your quantum or going into your own personal quantum and decoding your system, your beliefs, your ways of being, your words, any part of you through any timeline, if you would like some guidance on deprogramming and reprogramming and coming into a different type of alignment that your future self is calling you to, send me an email. I do see clients personally one-on-one. So I'm sending you love. Ciao for now.